I've always found it fascinating. LeBron, I mean, you can say what you want about the negativity and the scrutiny that he's faced. And really the decision was probably the most negative thing that has happened in his career. I've whatever. I don't really care about that.
Yeah.
But it's remarkable to me. He's had this entire career in the public spotlight since he was a teenager. And by and large, he's avoided controversy. And you said something on Gil's podcast as it relates to the player, not necessarily the career in its entirety, but the player, just the scrutiny that he's faced versus the scrutiny that Jordan's faced. I'm not here to debate that at all.
Please.
No. I'm not here to debate the MJ LeBron
I'm
thing.
exhausted.
What I would say is it's a point I bring up a lot, and I want to sort of just like go a little bit deeper with a point I bring up a lot about today's generation of players and playing in the First Take era, the 24/7 news debate show era, NBA Twitter, the constant scrutiny. Our generation of player, led by LeBron, has faced more constant scrutiny than any other generation. And it's not to say that other generations didn't face scrutiny. Jordan certainly faced scrutiny early on in his career. The narrative around him. Here's the thing. It lived in print. It lived on talk radio.
If you were listening.
It wasn't eternalized
No.
on the interwebs. It wasn't eternalized in a Twitter conversation or an IG video. Like these on a YouTube. Think about YouTube right now and where fans get their information from and where they find their narratives about players. So we've lived all that. A byproduct of this, of not going through that, and I deal with this now, is anytime you say anything negative or anything questioning any other era or any other player, there's this immediate backlash.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons I think this is because I think every era, the players to a degree have been canonized, meaning it's the gospel. Larry Bird, Wilt Chamberlain, what has been said about those players for decades is the gospel. Yeah. If you ever question that, it's disrespect.
You're wrong. It's just
I said on First Take, Larry Bird, top 10 player of all time, one of the greatest shooters of all time. Mad Dog, I respectfully disagree. He's not a top 5 3-point shooter of all time. There's no logical way you can make that argument.
Yeah, and Mad Dog is stuck in.
And then all of a sudden, like all the old heads, I'm disrespecting Larry Bird. Yeah. No, I didn't.
He's just stuck
He's
in time.
unequivocally a top 10 player. What happens to today's generation of player who has lived through this 20 years from now, 30 years from now? Like, we're not getting canonized because these stupid fucking narratives exist about all of us.
You know what? And that's the danger in that is there's going to be no more icons. The icon is gone, right? That legend of something is gone because it's been saturated. It's literally been saturated by everything from debate shows to people wanting to just get clicks and views on social media, and negativity sells, obviously, and people want to hear about that and debate that. But what happens is you're not going to ever have that anymore because there's too many opinions, number one, in addition to not enough knowledge, and then when you add that on top of the gamesmanship and the business aspect of it, to where someone can't say how they truly feel, especially on a TV or on a pod, because that's not what people want to hear. And so now people eat that, right? You digest that goes into your psyche of the casual fan or listener, et cetera. And then now that becomes the barbershop talk. When the barbershop talk was normally dictated by you and I both looking in the plain dealer at the box score and also watching the game that we watched last night and us having that favorite player. That created the thing. Now we added a referee to that on a talk show every morning to decide, like that's just, that's what it is. And it's tough. And again, going back to that conversation, the point I was trying to make is, and everybody's, oh, I'm LeBron's biggest critic. Trust me. It wasn't about that. It was just that people say, well, Michael would have never did that. Well, who says we wanted to do everything that Michael did? That's no slight to Michael, but that's why his name is Michael and his name is LeBron. Like, I'm not here to do everything like somebody else did it. It's okay for me to take what they did well, and if I can apply that to myself and be successful going forward, great. But don't discredit me because I didn't stay with a team for 20 years. Well, everybody's, everybody's journey is different. My grandmother had 12 kids. My mom had 3. Is she less of a woman because of that? Like what are we talking about? It's not a slight to but it's just that thing of that. And then going back to the shows, no offense to Tommy, but when we were talking about it, I was like, he had the hoodie on. He's like, man, I don't want people to say something about something because he didn't really understand. And I understand it. That's him from a business perspective because he has to go out and get players from other agents or whatever. And then now the agent see him with the stuff on and he gives him shit about it. Small-minded, very small-minded, right? Well, that's no different than going on TV and you're not afraid to say what's real because you don't care to be anybody's friend. But someone else may be afraid to say what's real because that text or that ability to communicate with somebody, whether it's one day or 100 days in between, makes them feel a certain way.
Oh, and Stephen A. and I get text literally in real time from people.
I'm sure. And sometimes it's probably me.
I think you did text me one time, but it wasn't really.
But I'm never going to text you about something.
No. The way, yeah. But players, agents, it's whatever.
And then again, the other thing about that too is players are way too in stuff today. Like
too online.
For a player to be texting you about something about it's too much.
Yeah.
You think it's gotten worse?
Well, it's gotten worse, Tommy, but the is I get guys, even I'll have trainers of teams I played for.
Yeah.
I'll be on First Take. And they'll send me a picture of me on the television and they're in the training room with the guys before practice.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck are y'all watching this? I shouldn't say that. I don't want to disrespect ESPN.
Gonna be like, cut that.
No, I mean this, and I'll say this to ESPN. How is that healthy to watch that before a practice?
Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you how, because that goes to show you the mentality. We live in a society where if you post a picture and you don't get enough likes, they take it down. That's the generation. So why wouldn't they be watching? Why wouldn't they care about things? They care more about the tunnel and how they look coming through the tunnel.
Oh, don't get me started on this, Rich.
No, I'm just saying.
He's been ranting about this for years.
Then the film session. Right? So now when I get home from practice, I'm laying out outfits because of my brand. But your brand only lives in your world. Go to Istanbul and see if somebody knows you. They don't. It's only a few guys. You get what I'm saying? And so that's the thing. And so it's when you went back to power and we talked about your approach and then the play. Listen, man, if I have the ability, like if you were coming out of Duke right now, and I said to you, JJ, on a very low level, at the worst case scenario, you should make $300 million in your career. But in order to do that, you have to be able to do this, and this, and we got to stay there, whatever. At best case scenario, you may make $800 million in your career. Could you imagine, like, why would I focus on anything else?
Anything else?
There's not a brand that can pay you that. There's not an investment that's going to pay you that. You know, this whole idea of being fake smart, like, bro, I never want to be the smartest guy in the room. I don't care to be. Actually, I would like it the other way around. Coming out of there. Now, I can debate all day long, but I'm just saying that's different things. But this goes into why I'm trying to explain to you what they're starting to care about now.
Well, to your point, and I think we can kind of wrap up here. To your point, and this kind of goes into everything we've talked about. The reality is, with today's contracts, nothing else should matter. Because if you have the right approach, and the approach is the preparation, all the stuff that goes into it, you perform at a high level consistently.
Yeah.
And you're not a dickhead.
You should be okay.
You're going to make $500 million if you're a good player.
Yes.